Hey everyone, welcome to the FIDUS Roofing podcast. I'm Brandon, and today we're talking about something that confuses a lot of homeowners here in Northeast Florida: insurance and your roof. Whether it's after a storm, a leak, or just routine wear and tear, figuring out what's covered and what's not can be stressful. So today, I've got Ryan from FIDUS Roofing here to walk us through the most common questions we hear from customers every single week. We're not insurance adjusters and we don't speak for your insurance company, but what we can do is share what we see out in the field, the mistakes homeowners make, and what you can do before a storm ever hits to make your life easier. Ryan, welcome. Let's get into it.
How you doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm here.
Awesome.
Ready to go.
So you've been doing this for a while. I would say let's kick this off with maybe one of the biggest questions after a storm hits. How do I know if I have enough damage to call my insurance company? When you get those calls, what do you tell those people when they're like, hey, I think I have some storm damage? What's the first conversation look like?
Well, first is schedule an appointment to come out and take a quick look at it. You've got to do an inspection and see what the extent of the damage is, and see if there is damage. Sometimes, people think storm and damage, but it doesn't necessarily mean there is damage there. But that's why you have an inspection, to get up there, assess what's there, what's not there, and like I guide them in the right direction. At that point, if they want you to come look, you get up there, you do find the damage, you share it with the homeowner, and then it's up to the homeowner to decide what they want to do from there. All I can do is kind of give them their options, which is, file a claim. We'd be more than happy to do repairs. Like I said, it's not necessarily just let's file an insurance claim and let's get this roof replaced. A lot of times there's different things that kind of you got to go through first. Do you really want to file a claim if you've got one damaged shingle on your roof? Probably not. It's not going to meet your deductible. It's going to cost you money out of pocket either way. So why would you want to kind of go after your insurance company for that? So it's kind of making judgments and giving the homeowner the best information you can, so they can make the best decision they can. So.
Okay. So you kind of mentioned, your inspection versus an adjuster. What do you, if that's a confusion point, do you get that confusion point much? Or what's the difference between what you do for that inspection versus what an insurance adjuster would actually come out and do?
Well, everybody has their own opinion in this business. Every person like me that goes up on a roof, every insurance adjuster from all the different insurance companies, everybody has their own opinion of what damage is and what damage isn't. That's why it's up to you to kind of do, to the best of your ability, make your judgment call, give that homeowner that information, and then when the insurance company comes out, let them do their job. They know how to do their job, and pass their own judgment. What sometimes people think is hail damage is really just blisters on your roof. Sometimes people think what could be possibly wind damage is really just an old roof that's kind of fallen apart. And so it's best to kind of make sure you're going to a trustworthy roofing company that's going to give you an honest assumption, so that way you're not pulling the gun and having your insurance company come out to find that they really shouldn't be there. So
yeah, it sounds quite educational how your approach is.
It is, and it's educational for me and anybody else that does what I do too, because every time you go out, every roof is different, everything you run into is different. You're constantly learning. And every insurance adjuster is different. So what they consider, what they allow. I'm real big on letting homeowners know, look, every time I do this, it's different. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's everybody's different. So every one of these that we run, every insurance adjustment we do is going to be looked at differently. And so it's not about knowing how it works. It's about knowing how to work through whatever it is that comes at you through the process. So. Yeah.
How is there a time period involved? So let's say a storm hits and something has my attention, and I'm curious as a homeowner. Is there a time frame that you have to make a claim, and is there any urgency there? Is it important to get your roof looked at sooner rather than later?
Yeah, sooner is better. I mean, you do have a couple years to act on it. But I mean, in good faith, if you feel like you have damage, you want to protect your home. Letting it go longer is just going to run the risk of incurring more damage in between, which was unnecessary. So it's better to be proactive, even if it means you just want to get your roof checked out, not knowing if you have damage or not, just to get the peace of mind that your roof is fine. Either way, it's better to jump on it as soon as possible.
Yeah. I mean, a small little problem that you think, that can kind of wait is notorious for turning into a much bigger, more expensive issue.
Yeah, small issues turn into big issues. So it's better to attack it while it's small instead of wait until it's big.
Yeah.
It's just going to make the whole process harder on you and everybody else involved. So
yeah. Do you guys advise homeowners documenting their roof before a storm ever hits? Is that an issue at all to get, kind of that before after issue?
I mean, damage is damage. You can. I mean, we have customers that call us and we do annual inspections just to make sure everything's good. So you do have somewhat of a documentation or a file on their roof and the condition it's in, so you can kind of keep track of that and track that. So there is kind of knowing that difference between what was there and what wasn't, after a storm. But a lot of people, they don't really think about their roof until something happens,
right? Until
they see that spot or they have that leak or they find the shingles in their yard, and then that's when they start being a little more proactive with it. So being proactive, I mean, there may be a small repair that could be done that could prevent a larger issue after a storm. So,
okay. It kind of makes me think of like when you go rent a U-Haul truck or something and you've got to document every angle of the car before you take it, take the pictures, and then they compare it afterwards, but
and you're doing it to protect yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Protect your home. Yeah.
One of the biggest things I hear about in the last couple of years is insurance companies dropping people because their roof is like too old, where they're like, hey, you've got to get a new roof or else. That actually happened to my sister and several other people that I know. What's the deal with that? Can people stay ahead of that in any way, shape, or form?
They really can. The only way they can stay ahead of it is go with a trustworthy local roofer. Don't trust the guy knocking on your door. Some people do have damage and some people don't. People file claims every day in Florida right now on roofs that shouldn't have claims filed on them. Because of that push and a lot of that illegitimate claims that are going on, it's what's forcing the insurance companies to kind of take drastic matters. So you're taking a roof that's perfectly fine and forcing a customer to get a new roof at 14, 15, 16 years old just because you're trying to avoid having to pay for it down the road.
Wow.
So I always say, yeah, it's nice if you get a new roof, but get a new roof if you should be getting a new roof. Get a new roof if you do have damage. If there's not, get a second opinion on your inspection. I mean, now there are claims that should definitely be paid out that don't get paid out. They get kind of kicked down the road, and I feel like the customers are kind of mishandled and not taken care of properly. But those are few and far between. And again, it all comes back to the fact that there's so much illegitimate stuff going on that it's clouding the vision of the insurance company and everybody else when it comes to taking care of the legitimate situations. So I think that's the biggest problem in Florida right now with roofing is the honesty and the legitimacy of a lot of the stuff that's going on. And it's causing more of a headache for everybody else.
Man, I'm glad you said that. I didn't realize that, I'm going to call them scammers or illegitimate roofers, that stuff was partly responsible for driving up that issue.
Yeah, it is. And I think more homeowners are starting to realize it. And that's why they're starting to call for those second opinions. And, 99% of homeowners aren't going to ever get on their roof. So they got to take the word of the guy that does.
Right.
And if that guy that does isn't honest and he comes down and just pushes you in the direction he wants you to go and you believe him, now we're running in a direction where it should have never gone. So it doesn't hurt to get second opinion. It doesn't hurt to call a couple local roofers just to see what they have. That way you're making the best educated decision that you can. Because it's going to, just knowing that it could be a long ride. I mean, insurance claims could be done in 2 or 3 weeks. You could jump on to something that's going to last you 2 years. So you just got to make sure that you're getting all the right information and you're making the right decisions for yourself.
One more question on that note. If I'm looking for a roofer, how do I determine who's legitimate and who's not? What am I looking for there?
Look for reviews. Look at reviews online, Google, Better Business Bureau. Read the reviews. I always say it's not everybody can get reviews, and nobody's perfect, so everybody should have bad reviews. If you don't see any negative reviews, I would start second guessing it. And then once you see those negative reviews, look at the responses. You know, nobody's perfect. Everybody is always constantly learning. So the response to those negative reviews is what really shaped a company to me, and how they handle it from that point on. And I think that's part of what you should be looking at when you're choosing a company to come look at your roof. So make sure that they're local. Make sure they're not from 2 or 3 hours away. They're going to be there when you need them, and just make sure they have a good reputation.
Yeah, that's a great point on how a company handles the negative reviews. That's something that I personally look for a lot. And I think how the owner or manager, whoever's responsible for that response, handles that situation tells me a lot about what's going on behind the doors in that business.
It does. And when you scan through one and you see no negative reviews at all, it kind of makes you wonder what's going on here. Like I said, nobody's perfect, man. But it's how you grow and handle it from there is what makes you a better company. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Ryan, I'll let you get out of here, man. Thank you so much. This has been great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so hopefully for you at home watching, this clears up some of the mystery around insurance and roofing here in Northeast Florida. If you've had a recent wind, hail, or storm damage, and you're just not sure what kind of shape your roof is in, FIDUS offers free no-pressure inspections. You can schedule one easily at FIDUSroofingandconstruction.com or give Ryan here a call. Until next time, keep your head high, your gutters clean, and your roof watertight.